Chelsea have broken the British transfer record. Manchester City have committed almost the same amount to a midfielder expected to carry them into life after Pep Guardiola. Tottenham have taken one of Newcastle's most important players for a club record fee. Barcelona have reached directly into the Premier League for a winger entering his prime. And Real Madrid have rebuilt several positions without chasing one headline-grabbing Galactico. These are not isolated deals. City's move for Elliot Anderson raises the price of elite young English midfielders. Chelsea's £117 million signing of Morgan Rogers creates a new benchmark for homegrown attackers. Barcelona taking Anthony Gordon from Newcastle shows that Spanish prestige can still challenge English wealth. Real Madrid adding Bernardo Silva, Ibrahima Konate, Denzel Dumfries and Marc Cucurella suggests a club removing weaknesses one by one. So which transfer could change European football the most? And which could become an extraordinarily expensive warning? The answer may not belong to the biggest fee. The most important transfers do more than improve a team. They force every rival to respond. For 10 years, Manchester City were shaped by Pep Guardiola. He left after winning 20 trophies, including 6 Premier League titles and the Champions League. Enzo Maresca now inherits a club built around control, precision, and relentless expectations. City's first defining signing of the new era is Elliot Anderson, bought from Nottingham Forest in a deal reportedly worth up to £116 million. Anderson is only 23, but the fee says City see him as a foundation. He brings energy, ball recovery, progressive passing, and the ability to carry through pressure. Guardiola's City controlled chaos by removing it. Anderson could help Maresca's side survive when matches become faster and less predictable. Is he Rodri's partner, Rodri's eventual successor, or the mobile midfielder who allows City to press higher? He may not be replacing one player. He may be helping replace an entire era. Forest signed Anderson from Newcastle for £35 million in 2024 and sold him 2 years later for a package that could reach £116 million. That rise tells every Premier League club that young, homegrown midfielders can now command superstar prices. City did not spend that money to preserve Guardiola's team. They spent it to build whatever comes next. Chelsea then moved the record again. Morgan Rogers joined from Aston Villa until 2033 in a deal reported at £117 million, making him the most expensive British player. He arrived after scoring 10 Premier League goals in his best domestic season and helping Villa win the Europa League, scoring in the final. But Rogers is not entering a stable machine. Chelsea finished 10th and appointed Xabi Alonso after another turbulent campaign. He becomes one of the first symbols of Alonso's Chelsea. Young enough to improve, experienced enough to contribute immediately, and expensive enough that patience will be limited. Rogers can start from the left, move inside, carry through pressure, and attack the space around a striker. That could make his relationship with Cole Palmer dangerous. Palmer often slows a moment down and waits for the final pass. Rogers accelerates it, attacking the gap before it closes. If that combination works, Chelsea could finally turn expensive potential into a coherent elite attack. If it fails, £117 million will become evidence that the club is still confusing spending with construction. The transfer also resets the market for every young British attacker. Chelsea are not only betting that Rogers will improve, they are betting that he can help restore an entire institution. Barcelona's move for Anthony Gordon carries a different meaning. The Spanish champions signed him from Newcastle on a 5-year contract in a deal reported at an initial €80 million plus add-ons. Gordon arrived after scoring 17 times in all competitions, including 10 goals in 12 Champions League matches. For years, Barcelona's decisions were shaped by financial restrictions and compromise. Taking a leading Premier League attacker from a wealthy English club suggests their market power is returning. It also reverses the usual direction of travel and shows sporting prestige can still compete with Premier League money. Gordon presses, runs behind defenders, and attacks space without waiting for the ball. With Lamine Yamal creating from the right, Gordon can stretch the opposite side and stop opponents compressing the pitch toward Barcelona's strongest technicians. He is not being signed to become another central playmaker. He is being signed to make the pitch larger. There is risk. Gordon thrives in transition, while Barcelona's identity is built around positional control. But that tension is why the move matters. If they integrate his directness without losing structure, Barcelona become harder to prepare for. Gordon is not being signed to make them more Barcelona. He is being signed to give them something their identity has lacked.
Tottenham's signing of Sandro Tonali is a direct attack on the hierarchy inside England.
Spurs bought the Italian midfielder from Newcastle in a deal worth up to £100 million, a club record. Tonali was not unwanted. He had helped Newcastle win the 2025 League Cup and had become central to their midfield. That is what makes this a power move. Tottenham paid an elite price to take a major player from a direct rival. Under Roberto De Zerbi, Tonali could receive under pressure, break the first line, and turn dangerous situations into controlled possession. Their lengthy conversation reportedly convinced him that Spurs were the only choice. The transfer creates a double shift. Tottenham gain leadership, passing range, and defensive intensity. Newcastle lose the same qualities. If Tonali pushes Spurs toward the Champions League, while Newcastle struggle to replace him, the deal will have changed two clubs at once. But £100 million creates a brutal standard. Tonali cannot merely play well, he must change Tottenham's level. Spurs did not sign him simply to improve midfield. They signed him to weaken the argument that Newcastle had overtaken them.
Then there is Real Madrid. Bernardo Silva has arrived for 2 years. Ibrahima Konate has signed until 2030. Denzel Dumfries for 4 seasons, and Marc Cucurella until 2032. Individually, none carries the shock of a £117 million fee. Collectively, they may represent the window's most consequential business. Bernardo brings control and imagination between midfield and attack. Konate adds recovery speed and power in central defense. Dumfries supplies vertical running from the right. Cucurella offers energy, technical security, and flexibility on the left. These are 4 different tactical tools. Madrid have not spent their summer chasing one superstar. They have used free agency, contract timing, and targeted fees to deepen the squad across several positions. That could influence other European giants. Instead of spending everything on one celebrity, eliminate weaknesses across the structure. Dumfries and Cucurella can stretch the pitch. Bernardo can move inside to connect with Jude Bellingham and Federico Valverde. Konate can protect the space left behind. Each arrival makes the others more logical. Madrid have not bought the biggest name of the window. They may have bought the fewest weaknesses. The danger is human. A squad this deep creates competition and dissatisfaction. Senior players expect major minutes. Younger players expect development. The manager must turn an extraordinary collection into clear roles, rather than an expensive argument over playing time. Together, these deals reveal a new market. Anderson and Rogers moved for packages of £116 million and £117 million within weeks of each other. Clubs are also buying players to establish a manager's identity immediately.
Anderson begins Maresca's post-Guardiola City. Rodgers becomes a foundation for Alonso. Tonali becomes a controlling force for De Zerbi. Europe's traditional powers are fighting back differently. Barcelona have recruited directly from the Premier League. Real Madrid have strengthened several positions through prestige, timing, and selective spending. AC Milan have committed more than 70 million euros to Goncalo Ramos as the first major signing under Ruben Amorim, despite missing Champions League qualification. The market is no longer divided simply between rich and poor clubs. It is divided between clubs with a coherent plan and clubs reacting to somebody else's. Every major transfer is a message to the player, to the supporters, and, most importantly, to every rival.
Anderson could help Manchester City survive the end of Guardiola's reign. Rodgers could transform Chelsea's expensive potential into an elite attack. Gordon could give Barcelona the direct threat that changes how Europe defends them. Tonali could move Tottenham back above the clubs challenging their status. Real Madrid's four-part rebuild could create the most complete squad on the continent. Some will succeed. Others will become warnings. But their influence has already begun, because every rival must respond. Arsenal, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, and Inter Milan cannot evaluate their squads in isolation. They must evaluate them against the teams these transfers are creating. That is why this window could change European football forever. Not because every signing will become a superstar, but because the biggest clubs are no longer competing only for players. They are competing to define what the next era looks like. Which transfer will change European football the most? And which club has made the most dangerous gamble? Tell us in the comments and subscribe to Football Power Files for the stories behind football's biggest power moves.